Okay.
We're going to open up the November 16th, 2022 Select Board meeting at 6 p.m. Do you have some amendments to the agenda?
Yes, I'd like to, we were approached by Justin Bertrand regarding a tax payment plan. I mentioned that we would be here at 6. He is going to try to be here by 6:30.
So you're recommending we put it off till the select board's review and action?
Yeah, I think it's the issue stuff.
And Belinda also put in my correspondence, Brookfield Service Preventative Maintenance Agreement. We've done this since we've had our generator. If we pay by December 5th, we get quite a hefty discount. So if we pay by December 5th, it's $398. Normally it would be $419.
And we usually have them once a year, correct?
Yeah, for once a year. Or 2 visits a year is $649. In the past, we've opted for the 1 visit. This plan does not include the state inspection of $130. We go with plan 1 of once a year.
Is that something genuine?
I haven't seen it before. I'm not sure if we're required to have a state inspection or not. It's a public building? No. So what's the board's pleasure today? It's really only $11. If we prepay by December 5th, or we just pay. It seemed like a big deal, but what was the board want to do?
I think we should take information.
Okay. So why don't we have a motion so we can direct the treasurer to pay this?
I make a motion that we take advantage of the discount for the generator.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Any other amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, the approval of the minutes of November 2nd, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 2, 2022.
I'll second that motion.
Do we have any corrections, deletions, omissions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We move on now to the budget hearings. Library. Oh, you know what I missed? Let's wait a minute. I forgot correspondence. You want to go back? We received a notice from the VLCT just notifying us what our dues for the year were going to be. They generally tell us what that is at the end of the year, but they're telling us sooner. It looks like $1,095 will be our service fee. Lamoille County Courthouse is holding their preliminary budget hearing Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. I have the budget here and I will make sure it's posted on the board if anyone wants to take a look at it. If you're interested, you can attend the meeting. I'll warn you that it's just informational and we don't have a vote on it. We received $100 from the Cannabis Control Board for local fees, I guess for the one permit that we issued.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised to see that. The other thing is, Nemrick is just alerting us to the fact that they have, a cloud service, for their clients. The current cost is $10 per user per month. I guess the office people can see whether they're interested. It would have been very, very helpful during COVID when we're shut down, because you can work from home. I guess the office help people will have to decide whether they feel that it's worth that or not. And if so, come back to us.
That would be of value if we had an assessor. That would be actually necessary.
Okay, any comments from the community? Hearing none, I guess we'll move on then to the budget hearings. We have the library up first.
So the library has indicated that they're looking to flat fund it from this current year. Couple of things that I think might be important, and one is whether we're going to budget for salaries, not just for the library, but across the board.
Tonight, generally we do that when we do our select boards budget, but I mean, are you bringing up a proposal or something? I'm gonna show this.
No, it's fine that we do it at a different time. What I've been doing with these budgets as they have been coming in is trying to make the adjustments depending on the request. But we can go back across the board after the select board meeting and decide what we're going to do with the salaries. They did not make any change to the depot station electric or the fuel. And given the year-to-date numbers, it doesn't look like they need to make any adjustment there.
So they only made a proposal for their appropriation. And we decide what, and so we pay the library. So we're looking at today is the library appropriation of $4,962. We're looking at $9,925.
Right. So that's their proposal for their appropriation.
And so I see in here a 1920 and a 2122. Did they present anything in writing, or is it just the same thing and make it 22-23?
Yes, Ruth Ann stopped in and said it's fighting because they had problems with the computer, so they weren't able to print out a new one. So
Okay.
she did stop in and say that that was what Sally had given us was what they were going with.
Okay.
She was going to be here, but she had to walk home, and she really didn't want to walk home, which I understand.
Okay. Zoning,
They're in here and it's confused with their computer expense. Think that was transferred to the town, correct? Dollars.
Remember?
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna go get last year's town report.
I have it here.
The town report.
Limerick is not showing up on in the zoning department.
Right, but it was last year, that's what I'm confused about.
Do you know why that is, Glenn?
Home network stuff got moved over to the IT department, unless it pertained to that department, like my town fusion is my department. His is like a backup disasters thing that the whole town has to have, so that is not in his budget anymore.
This is different than the disaster. This is a $1,000 Nemrick budget.
Yeah, what it is each year, every time we get an update, we get, it's part of our fee of paying for that model each year. For any updates and everything. That's what it is.
Do you think we should have all of these computer expenses applied to the IT department as opposed to?
Well, that's what we decided last year. Because we felt that departments were burdened with this IT stuff that was required, and we pulled it out of our budget and included it in this IT budget last year.
Right.
Zoom website maintenance, license, server maintenance, antivirus, number backup, number support, email addresses, the computer expense.
Yeah, zoning was never support.
Yeah.
Okay. So that can be removed from the zoning budget.
It was this year.
Okay, I just wanted to make that clear. Normally I put something in for legal for $1,000, which I never use. It just goes back into the general fund. But I did leave 500 in just in case. And then the next one would be notices. I had 400 last year and we spent almost 1,000. The cost of putting notice in the papers really increased. I have since shortened up the notices. I don't put as much as I used to do. So it won't be anywhere near 1,000. I put 800 in just, make sure I had enough. The others are the same. So we can take it down.
So it's pretty much flat.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So it would be 10,625.
Yeah. And then we have the issue of the older permits. We talked about scanning them in, and that didn't seem like a good option, but they still need to be reorganized. There's a real mess in there, especially the really older ones. But I have some number for that. I have no idea how long it would even take. I think I can probably work some hours off of my salary. Hopefully to cover it, but I don't know what to do about that issue. I don't even know what I'm asking. Just that I think it's something that needs to be done.
So it would probably be extra hours then? Salary hours, yeah.
Go through and put them back in order, see which ones are missing.
You want a budget for that or?
Right now, it's a discussion of what to do. I didn't put a budget figure in there.
But it seems that's the only option we have at this point, right? Is manually do it.
And any other way. I thought we could do that at the same time we scan it, but we're not gonna scan it. If we don't think that's an important issue, we can just drop it.
Well, I think it's going to be it will be an expense sometime.
And I would know how to give a number on that, but I don't know how really bad it is. You have any idea, Linda?
No, I mean, the 4 current ones are okay, so
Yeah.
you're talking 1 whole file cabinet, or are you talking 2 file cabinets?
At least the first one, yeah, deal.
Right.
But when we moved, they were never put in the right place to begin with.
And then they've been cold and not sorted
People pull it out and they don't put it back in the right place. And some people always check to see if everything's permitted when the rules goes around the house. But they need to get it done.
They're too tight too. How could you need another file cabinet? They seem way too tight. Is one of the problems.
Yeah, we do. Do they need to be in the vault?
Well, the end file cabinet is actually empty. You could use that one. It's bigger one and it's legal, but you could put the things in it. I just have some old papers and I could take that out and you could utilize that one if you want while you're sorting through it.
Yeah.
And those could be the beginning ones. So that is an option.
Yeah, there's issue with some of the bigger like a major subdivision where people poke through it, and I mean they're not even in the files anymore. They're kind of just near things.
So why don't you think about it? We won't be finalizing our budget till the beginning of January. If you want to present some other ideas at that time, you can come before us. At this point, 10,016 funds, what we're gonna have for some listers.
The listers have submitted a written proposed budget. The total is 25,750. That reflects salary for 2 of the 3 workers since our insurance period typically is not working. And the salary noted here does reflect a 3% increase in case that's what the board determines to do for next year. Mileage is the same at $300. Newspaper notices are up a little bit. Certainly listers don't have as many notices as zoning does, but as Tom noted, the newspaper charges a great deal more than they have in the past. And so we have to put a notice, of course, to grievance hearings, and so hopefully $300 to cover that. For office expense, we knocked that down a little bit.
from, I think, having 1,000 to 500. And then again, we had included in here computer expense. There is a $350 annual license fee for memory. And so whatever the board determines to do with that, if that moves over to IT or stays in the Lister budget, then overall, the amount in the proposed budget is $595 over last year's budget.
But the computer expense seems that it should move to the IT.
It should, and I'm thinking that it's very confusing, and what I would ask that Edie produce us with all the annual computer expenses for invoices, so we can have a look at it for our next meeting. 350 sounds low to me for Nemrick. I don't know.
That's Apex, actually.
Right, so that's, yeah, so you got Apex, you got Camera, you got Nemrick support, you got Nemrick backup. I mean, you got so much, you're getting me confused. So I think that would help the board understand better, and it will help us when we work in our IT section. So I'll take the 350 out. We are going to have to add in the agreement for the assessor, which is $11,440, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll need to go into this budget.
Is that going to the Lister budget?
Yeah, I didn't know where to put it. It was going to be a separate line item.
Yeah, we just didn't add that, and you know, leaving that up to the board.
Well, we'll even it out when we do our December to January final, pulling all the pieces together. Thank you.
We're working with CAI to get all of our data online. Any idea? It's always February. One thing I'm going to start working on is looking at a reappraisal, because our sales are just so high. We can't keep up with it. We need to do something. We haven't been told yet that we need to do one, but I think it'd be prudent to. Everyone's in the same boat, and it's going to take years to get an appraiser to do it. So we got to start getting in the line. So
What is our rate now
91.46.
in our COD?
Little under 10, I think it is. We weren't 11, but I think we went down, which was good.
I'm not sure if that will, but anyway, we're getting that right. And one more year could put us over the line. It's just the sales are killing us, and we try really hard to stay on. It's impossible with this market. I'll be bringing that back to the board again at some point.
Okay.
Could I comment? This is Monica.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I was looking at the salaries. Has an increase been visited this year for the Lister salaries? I mean, everybody else's wages have gone up. Inflation is terrible. And I know it's been kind of like brushed over in the past, and I think it really needs to be looked at again. That's not for two people, That's not a high salary.
Yeah, these salaries were actually adjusted, I can't remember when.
We did it in September.
September.
Yes.
So there has been an adjustment up for listers and zoning, done in September.
Not this year.
Oh,
Last.
last year.
Is it on par with what other municipalities are paying? Has that been looked into?
I think Alan did some research on it.
No, but we are not discussing salaries in people's budgets tonight. We will, be looking at all of that, later down the line. It causes too much trouble if we start giving, someone a raise here and someone a raise there as they come in, and we need to have a discussion as a whole on that.
Understood. Thank you.
But we will be looking at that, and we are aware of what inflation looks like right now. Are you done?
Yeah, just one more comment on. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because these notices are costing so much more than they were before, consider raising the permits. Just ones that need to be notified, subdivisions, public hearing. We had they started at $500 years ago, but we moved it down quite a bit by hundreds of dollars. I think it's too low. We need to cover the cost of having it here.
It's cost me over $90 for the notices.
Yeah, $150 permit. Yeah.
Right.
But I'll bring that back.
Okay. Bert, you want to say something?
Yeah, so originally when we looked at the listers budget, there was a $778 posting to it that has since been removed. And that should, I assume that went to the IT budget. And then there's a second memory gamma expense for $734. And I don't see that on the IT department.
No, so one of the things I remember from last year, we discussed is if it was a computer program just for that specific department, then that department would have it in their budget. And if it was like the disaster backup or the support, that would go into IT. Like Town Fusion comes out of my department because it's not something that the rest of the departments use. It's only specific to my department. And that's CAMA is only specific to the listeners. But you guys can change it if you want.
Yeah, because I find that really confusing. I think anything IT should go into the IT budget. My opinion is, because I mean, in this case, what we do have in the IT budget is NEMRIC backup, but we don't have CAMA backup. That's not in the budget at all.
I think it's the same thing.
No, well, if it is, it,
Yeah, or you said it's different.
Nickel diamond is really bad.
I talked to Ernie today.
so there's no posting at all, unless that just recently got posted.
No.
So when we do that section, you can bring that up as a board and decide whether we want to pull everything to make it clearer or not.
Okay.
So we may not be, this is.
We all set when we move on?
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of questions about the future meetings. Litter committee, Michelle?
Hi. So the budget you're looking at is, can you hear me?
Yeah, can I interrupt real quickly?
Oh, sure.
So I took your budget, that you modified one from today.
Yep.
And so can you see it on your screen?
I know, I'm trying to figure out how to see it and all the, like, see all the details. I think I can, let me, yep, now I can see it.
Okay, so what I did was I took the modifications that you made to the existing line items and then added a whole bunch of new line items which were not currently in the litter committee budget. And you'll see those towards the bottom. So sorry, sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So, basically what this is showing you is, the amounts that we're requesting for the litter committee. As you may know, that there's some new projects that we've taken on. One is the partnership or collaboration with HelpSee, which is actually refunding us money. So we're getting money for any of the textiles that are being recycled. It's a little too early to understand exactly what that will be, but that will be income to us. And then also the bulk waste day, which we had for the first time last year, which was an amazing success. So I think we may have underestimated the cost for that last year because there was just a tremendous amount of large items that came to the transfer station. So we're asking for a little bit more in the budget for that. And then lastly, as you can see on the bottom, Kurt has pulled out the green up day for spring and then the green up day for autumn. And those two have also been very well received. So having to dispose of all the bags and the trash and the tires that are collected during those two green up days, we're requesting additional funds. And then lastly, the new cleanup we have is a river cleanup. So being able to dispose of trash that's in the river at the transfer station, we're asking for funds for that as well. And one last thing I forgot, signage. We need more signage. People have been requesting more of the green up day or keep Wolcott green signs. I think we've used the current signs. Kurt, is it 2 years in a row running?
Yeah. We've had them out on 5 different occasions, so they're getting pretty beat up.
Yes, they are. By the weather and everything else. So yes. So our total request is 6,700. Am I reading that right?
No, 7,200.
7,200. I'm sorry. Okay. I see the bottom now. Yes.
So now part of this is a suggestion that Linda had, which I think is a good one. And that is that the disposal, green up day, bulk day, all came out of the transfer station budget. And it's detrimental to the transfer station bottom line as a business. And so the idea is to transfer those over to the litter committee. So that's why the overall request here looks so big, is that we moved those 3 pretty big items from the transfer station to the litter committee.
Okay, that makes sense.
You mentioned the money will come back to us. Who's us?
Well, it actually comes back to the litter committee budget. So for the HelpSee bins, those the check that they're going to be making out for whatever we make off of that will be made out to the litter committee. So I think that might help in the future. I think it's kind of early to know what that means in terms of dollars. So we're getting 7 cents a pound for any textiles that are recycled. And I believe we've been doing it about 3 weeks now. So hopefully we'll be able to get a good momentum going there.
Those bins are full again.
That's crazy. I'm so glad though. It's better than having it thrown on the side of the road.
Yeah.
But that didn't really answer my question because a municipality, you are part of the municipality, you're an appointed town organization. You don't have your own checking account. You can't roll over the monies. So I'm just trying to think of how this works. Will it go in and offset some expenses? It would need to go in town checking account.
Yeah, definitely. And
what is your thought on that?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with it going into the town checking account. And you're right, we don't have our own checking account. So if it went into there, and I don't know if it can be then used to offset some of our expenses or how that might work, but whatever works the best, I think will work for me and the litter committee.
Well, think about it. I mean, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just trying to do things correctly. Financially, think about it and get back, if there's a project or something designated that the select board can designate those funds you get for HelpC to do some project you're doing or something, but we just need to communicate and make sure the funds go through the town.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on this? For budgets tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Oh, there's one more budget item. This is a spillover from last meeting, where he didn't get back to us until after the meeting. So he's asking for $1,000 for park and rec. 600 of that would be for the porta potty, and 400 is miscellaneous. But he's asking for flat.
I wonder if we could have Tim up now for the ballet and then do your report. Kurt, would you mind?
Yeah.
For half an hour. Tim, do you want to present now?
Hi, I presume my audio is working.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Tim Yarrow from Ballet Wolcott. I'm the board president and chair. I'm sorry, I'm the president of Ballet Wolcott, the board chair. One comment and then a request. The last time we met, the last time I was in front of the select board, we were in tough shape. And I just want to report that we have sort of made a almost miraculous turnaround. A lot of hard work on the part of the board and staff, and things are looking really good for us right now. And I just want to say thanks to the village of Wolcott, town of Wolcott, and the select board for helping us out through a really tough patch. That was very close back there, but we're so much better off today. In that vein, if the board would hear it, there's a couple of items I'd like to touch on for work we'd like to do in the Old Town Hall, our studio space. But what I want to address tonight with the board is a very simple request, which is it would be very convenient for our teachers and anybody else that we would need to let into the studio space if we could set up a lockbox on the outside of the door, something very simple that would let us access a key when we need it. We would control the access code to the lockbox and give the code to whoever needs it, and then they can get into the building without somebody showing up with an extra key. So that felt like something the select board ought to think about and give a yay or nay on. And that's basically it. I have a photo of what this looks like if I can share it on the screen, but it's basically like a little realtor's key lockbox that a realtor would set up on a house showing. It's no more complicated than that. It's like a metal loop that fits over the doorknob, and that's about it. Should I try to show a photo, or do you have a good sense of what we're talking about?
Yeah, I have a picture in my mind.
It's a really pretty small item. It would be very unobtrusive and not permanent. It can come on and off the door pretty easily with somebody who has the code and can remove it. So that would be a big help to us. That's all I have.
We talked to last time, we were talking about cubbies, I think.
Well, that was the second thing I wanted to talk about, but yes, correct.
So that's still on your list?
It is. We're in the middle of performance season, getting ready for a big show in December. So we would like to address some housekeeping updates inside the studio space in the new year, probably January or so. And this would be anything from getting the cubbies arranged to sort of spiffing up the bathrooms a little bit if we could, and washing down the woodwork on the walls just to make that prettier. And we would like to paint that not terribly appealing brown paint on the walls.
Right.
But for this moment, we would like to put a lockbox on the doorknob.
How would our rentals get in? When we
How do they do it now? They have a key?
They could give them a key.
And it will still work, yeah. Right, and an external key will still work.
I would imagine that the device we have in mind would not obstruct the key lock as it exists right now.
Yeah, so anybody else who has a key can use their key without having to use your lockbox.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
You think this type of door that opens and the keys inside too?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not locking the door.
Right, right.
Just a spare key in there.
Yeah. I think it's reasonable.
I'd rather see them do it to the side of the building like they do at most dealerships. So it's not on the door, it's beside the door. Then it's fastened where they can't tear it off or do damage to the door. And I don't think it's that much more expense.
I'm sure we can work that out as well. I don't think that's any showstopper.
I mean, most dealerships have that, and it's just on the side of the building and punch in the code, take the key out, do whatever they want, put it back.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. But I'll go ahead and make a motion to allow the valet to put up a lockbox, preferably next to it, right?
Next to the door.
Next to the door.
Mounted to the. I'll second that motion.
Okay. Great. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm going to abstain.
So you got it.
Okay, thanks very much. Just to be clear, was that a lockbox next to the door, or preferably next to the door, or if worse comes to worse, we could put it on the door?
I'd rather have it on the wall next to the door, sir.
Okay. Understood. Appreciate it a great deal.
And control proof. Yeah, something where they can't really, stick it at the door, take the handle off, screw with it, or it's mounted on the wall.
Okay. Well, good luck with the valet. We look forward to hearing about the the interior fix-ups after the first of the year.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about. We'll look forward to it. Forward to that discussion. And hopefully we'll see you at the Grinch, the show at Lamoille Union on December 18, I believe. It's a Sunday. It's going to be a really good show. I'm not just blowing sunshine here. We've got some really great staff working on that. So it'll be something to see. Anyway, hope we'll see you there.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
You know, there are some nice puppies in your old school.
Yeah.
We can take it.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Because we'd love to get them out of there too.
Right.
Reuse them.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the project managers report.
Did you think, I went out with Rob Moore to look at the road segments that were required for upwater. This particular segments, two segments, one is on Marsh Road, the other is on East Hill Road. I gotta say the road crew did a spectacular job. So they got an A+ rating from Rob and Jim. So this paves the way for the town to receive a $12,000 grant. The grant comes after the work is done, of course, but so Rob is in the process of helping us finish up the paperwork so that we'll get that grant. If you happen to be up on Marsh Road and look at the work they did, very, very impressive. Desktop computers. We are going to need a computer for the emergency manager. The emergency manager's computer actually ended up over here with the hybrid system. And I don't know that we need super powerful computers, but it is an opportunity for the listers and zoning to rotate their computers and upgrade if they so choose. So the cost is $1,025 from Rodney. And then the project manager, I use this thing now, which is just about triple me. But I can replace it for about $400. So that's actually a budget request here. Plow truck status is.
Can we go back down to that?
Yeah.
In our upcoming budget, you're going to be asking for
No.
funds or what?
I'm asking for to do it now. And I don't know exactly what line item that is in.
Belinda?
We have remember town office equipment?
Yeah.
We used to have money in, but I don't know how much it's in there.
Let's see that. Yeah, fund balance.
Yeah. I think we used it all up, but I'm not sure. Either somewhere.
I thought I saved it because it was important and I didn't bring it.
Okay.
Well, you know, we're gonna be getting 1/3 of $17,000 shortly, aren't we? Did you send in that paperwork?
Yes. Yes.
We could maybe designate it from that you know, Hardwick, Hyde Park and Wolcott.
Oh, it comes from the trailer park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that hasn't been, usually after we receive it, the select board decide where they want to put it. And the town office equipment could use the money.
A lot of times we've thrown money into that. So that could be a good place for it to come. If it's an emergency, I would recommend you just go ahead and buy it and go find the funds by the end of the year. If not, I don't know, is it an emergency?
Well, it's for the emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your computer.
Your computer,
Oh, yeah, I would consider it.
right?
Definitely.
How does the board feel about that?
I think you should go ahead and take the investment. Really, it's not a frivolous request.
So of the money that we're gonna be paid for this from Hyde Park will more than cover that amount, and then we would have extra money to designate to something else. It's not tax money.
I know this is a little off subject, but you know how you have a plan for the vehicles.
Right.
I think we should also have it for computers, but that's just my opinion.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you don't have the lease opportunity, but
Right,
yeah, I mean, computers age pretty quickly.
they do. Or they break down.
And nowadays you have to have a computer. We did have a reserve fund that we would buy town equipment more, but I think we've drained it.
We did, and this last time we didn't re-up it, but that is an option. In the past, we've tried to take at least 5,000 over 2 years. But it's whatever.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that you go ahead and buy the emergency manager and project manager computers.
I'll second the motion.
Do you have any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Great, thank you. So plow truck status, I think it was 6 weeks ago, I said that the truck was gonna be Wednesday of 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
We still don't have a truck.
I thought about that this morning.
So the truck is at Viking. It's 100% complete except for the plow. And they're waiting on the plow to install it on the truck. They claim next week we'll have it, but that's happened so many times, I don't want anybody's hopes up. So today we had to resort to plowing some of the roads with the one-ton truck. That's the reason the parking lot is announced. It was out on the road. And that's not good for that truck. So we don't want to do that very often. So I'm doing everything I can to push to get this thing. If worse comes to worse, the road crew says that we can take the truck and install the plow from the old truck temporarily until the new one comes in. Viking doesn't want to do that because they have to come here to do it. But at this point,
You need the truck.
we need the truck.
Yeah, not so long.
And did that do anything to the warranty? That or no?
I don't think so. I mean, the warranty is on the drivetrain. Yeah, it's not on the plows.
Okay.
Plow training. So today also was Nathan's training day plowing. So he didn't get to train on the parking lot, but he did get to train on the roads. So, and he has learned to operate the loader so he can load his own sand and train. So Nathan is becoming quite an asset. Town report status, Deb got in touch with, yeah. And she said that she'll have a schedule for us right after Thanksgiving. Is that right? Correct. The same thing. We had a schoolhouse funders meeting. This was for, these are the various funding agencies for the schoolhouse restoration project, revitalization. So there were several different agencies or groups that came to the meeting. They toured the schoolhouse and they all presented kind of their funding outlines, what kind of restrictions they might have. But I'll tell you, the interest appeared to be very high to help us fund the restoration. The way that funding is going to work with this project is it's going to come in bits and pieces. So one funding group may be on the planning side, one funding group may be on the engineering side, another funding group would be on the actual construction side. But it's all real, and it certainly they felt that our plan, and it turns out that the real key to getting this project going is having a use case that everybody could buy into. And our use case has been the cafe and the historical society, and that really fits into the funding world. And they're also very much aware that we have the rail trail coming through here. We've had the town garden, the town forest, it all in the new bridge, and it all fits together in a much larger plan that's appealing to the funders. Following the funders meeting, we had a RFP engineering site visit. So we allocated $10,000 at our last meeting or the meeting before to hire an engineer to evaluate the project and kind of get down into the nitty-gritty and give us the priorities, how to approach the project, those kinds of things. And we had was it two or three? Three. We had three attendees to that. And the RFP is the request for proposal. The site visit is required. It turns out one of the engineers that came to the site visit was the same one that did our latest architectural report. And VLCT, from that VLCT, Lamoille Planning is managing the RFP for us. And I think it's early December, we are to get the proposals.
I think the cafe idea is really a wonderful thing because it's a small village. There's no community gathering place. You know, have coffee or whatever. You know, it's just be nice to have that back.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think the funders see it too. And they see that whole big picture.
Let's go to the rail trail, gives them somewhere they can go warm up.
Oh yeah.
See the town.
I'll pass on the rail trail. I'll just go in for
Well,
Kimball's and coffee.
So the last thing is, rather than and giving correspondence for appropriations, I have created this is in your packet, I've created a appropriation request list. And so you can see who is requested and what their request is versus last year. So far, everything has been a flat request. And there are Lamoille County Child Advocacy is a new request, I believe. $1,082. And the Wolcott County Planning Commission also has a request. But do we typically have, it's in the budget, right?
The planning commission,
Yeah.
Harbor Rescue Squad,
Right,
and the
okay,
sheriff.
okay, so I'll take the planning commission off this. I knew it was someplace that we already had. But Lamoille County Child Advocacy is, as far as I can go, a new.
So if they're new, well, I think it's not this Lamoille County Special Investigation Unit. It's the same amount, 1,082. I think it's the same thing.
So they just changed their name?
Could be.
Okay.
I'll write them and find out.
So if they want an increase, they have to, our policy was they have to submit a petition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure that that's what this is here.
Okay.
Article 14.
I just couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did you want to talk about this because it's not on the agenda? Or is this for next time, this declaration in the minutes?
Well, yeah, I think that is on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Planning commission. So,
That's good.
so I talked to this organization probably 2 months ago. And they're going to all Vermont towns and asking the towns to commit to a declaration of inclusion. At the time, we were thinking that this is also something the planning committee should be involved with. So we turned it over to the planning committee. They weren't able to get together for several weeks, but they finally did get together. And the planning committee, in their report, recommends that the board does adopt such a declaration. And I think he mentioned that a committee, we don't really have a committee that's looking into this. So I went ahead, took the liberty just to write up something to get it started. And so that's something I just want to present to the board and get your thoughts and edits, or if you want to write one independent of mine, that's fine. Just thought it was an opportunity to get this thing started.
I think this was very concise, clear. I'd certainly be willing to sign it right now.
I thought somebody was going to have something about the ism.
About what?
Ism. There's racism, sexism, classism, ableism. But that's a Latin suffix. It's meaningful.
Yes.
So.
Did you need to have the town lawyer look this over just to make sure it's no?
Yeah, I mean,
I think you'd want to do that before you decide to.
Well, there's nothing discriminatory here. It's very clear.
You never know.
They might want to add something in there, like,
That's what I'm saying.
like about the state statutes that are already listed on the state. Has
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think you may want to have this.
No, they
lawyer look it over quickly. For the small fee that he probably charges, I think it'd be worth it. In case he has any other.
Well, yes.
I mean, there's so many people out there now looking.
Oh, I'd sign it and just carry a big stick. I'm sorry.
I just,
Damn lawyers. Yeah.
Can we go,
It's so concise, sorry to interrupt.
can we go back to this plow truck status?
Yeah,
I think you should tell them that we would like that received next week. Plow or no plow. If they have a problem with it, tell them, okay, we're gonna start paying a penalty because we gotta have it. It's destroying it.
yeah, I agree. You need to use our old well.
Right.
Yeah, put it on.
And if they have to come up, put it on, oh well.
Yeah, right, yeah. No, I think that's a.
They promised 6 weeks ago, you give them one more and say that's it. It's gonna be pretty well needed.
Yeah, if we get a raise to them,
We're done.
for that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
We got good help. I just think we need to have the good equipment and we've had long enough. And really,
This truck, you know, we ordered this truck
Over a year ago.
well over a year ago. Yeah.
Apparently, it also applies to fire trucks, and everything else too, right now. Get 50 years plus to get a fire truck.
There's only one good thing, you can get up to Massachusetts. They have a 10-year law. Anything that's over 10 years, it's gone. So you can buy a truck that's only got like 10,000 hours on it. Yeah. It's literally the cost. So you gotta get rid of it.
So how do you want to move forward with this declaration of inclusion?
I appreciate her doing cautionary, but I sign it. But I don't know if you feel there's a need for this. Is a very clear statement. It's
I like that it's not wording. I think if it was too wordy, that's when you get into trouble.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. Just. It makes it, this year statement makes it quite clear what our attitude is. And best of Irish watch, anybody thinks they're gonna find a loophole in it.
I have you listed, Richard, as secretary, which is incorrect. Clerk. I'm just looking through.
I know
Is
that.
that your motion?
I'll make a motion that we find that statement as is printed. To declare our attitude about
Yeah.
termination of any kind.
We have a second. I'll second that then. So those voting in favor? Aye. Those voting opposed? Okay.
Assume we want to sign just one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Start with yours.
Yeah, I'll scribble on mine, pass it around.
You want to take up the matter of Justin Burton?
Yeah, I guess we should. I think he has kids that may have tangled him up here, but do I have a copy of his note? In the bottom is what he owes. So he's past due in taxes $333.71. And then he, as of yesterday, he owes $265.52 for the current period. So that's a total of $598. He's proposing a $25 a week. And if I do the math on that,
I got 23 plus weeks.
23 weeks, yeah.
it would come out just before the payment in May, maybe. It should be paid up, but my question is, why did he go to tax sale?
He has gone to Mr. Davies, but Mr. Davies is waiting until after the new year. So he hasn't done anything yet.
Is there a reason?
Yeah, he doesn't want to keep getting close to Christmas. He was quite honest.
That was not the Thanksgiving.
Well, I know, but by the time he does the research and sends them the papers, and then he puts them in the paper, and, you know.
I think one of the things with these is the thing to be careful about, I think, is, you know, you're paying $25 a week to catch up, and then by the time you pay it, there's another one hitting you right in the face. And I would think that he should consider putting $25 away, pay us $25 and put $25, you know, under his mattress.
Now, he did pay last November, so he's only behind on May's
Right.
from last year, just so you know. And it's an unlanded mobile home on Lana Young's land.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I would just advise them that he also needs to have a plan to be able to pay his May installment.
Right.
This is the first time he's gone behind.
Because he's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So at least 5 years now.
Yeah. 25 is May's going to catch him. That's the problem.
Right. But
I mean, if he was to pay the 25 and then pay May's allotment, I would see this, but this isn't really going to get him out of the hole.
Well, the May's allotment isn't due until May, and so
Right.
he'll have all this paid off before
May.
he'll have it paid off in April.
Yeah. The worry is that come May, he's hit again, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he's going to be in the same.
I think he's a landscaper. I'm not sure what he does, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably laid off now. And he's a single dad. I think there was somebody there with him that might not be there anymore helping with the bills. I don't know for sure. He wasn't real clear the first time I talked to him. I did tell him that we were doing tax sale and he asked how he could stop it. And I said the only way would be to talk to the select board to keep it in-house.
Does he have children living with him?
That's what the note says.
Yeah, he has two. It's a father of two, single father.
I think it's worth giving him a try.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
I just wanted to point out that a while ago we had a man who lived on John's Lane and he was only able to like pay $40, I think it was. And he has caught up and he pays taxes on time. Sometimes I think it's just circumstances that get them behind and they just need a little boost. But that's just an opinion.
I had something
It's nice.
unlanded mobile home. So you're not gonna get taxes from them if he just abandons and goes away. You're gonna be stuck with that mobile home. That would work something out.
What does unlanded mean?
He doesn't own the land that the mobile home is on.
Oh,
We take it in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Not that they do that.
Take what you area. Or be stuck with a mobile home there.
Well, he owns the mobile home, but not the land it sits on.
He pays a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's land, owns land.
So you're recommending that we should work something out?
Absolutely. Like he says, might be wake up call, will never happen again.
Yeah.
And it's his first time.
Okay, make a motion to accept Justin Bertrand's payment plan of $25 a week to pay off his past and current past taxes. There's a second?
No
Yeah.
second.
Any further discussion?
How do we get a hold of this guy?
He has a dog, so I'll look for his cell phone. The other thing is that when he comes in again, I will try to help him apply for the VHFA. I think he can qualify, but that is something, you know, that takes a while to process. You know, through the housing thing.
I thought that money was dried up.
No, that was B right.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So carried. So I received an employee request, just asking if the board would, consider giving gift cards, for Thanksgiving to buy food because of the high prices and to boost morale.
And I have a source that we didn't know the cost. We just became this money of $100. So we buy food. I know it sounds weird. It's just the thought. I just thought the poor guys got the COVID recently and they have this going out there this year and
Here's the times you mask.
you could do that too.
Should I state my situation? I don't get anything. I didn't get the kind of raises they did. I think it's what it is. I mean, they got a pretty good raise. 23% plus all the benefits.
That is a problem. But I have to say for a period, I think you have to show appreciation to people. I'm sorry your work is not showing appreciation for you, but I don't want to think of the bomb being that way, but you know, it was just a suggestion. We got $100 we didn't expect to get, and we thought of the employees.
When you say employees, are you, who is that? Is like full-time road crew? And
no, even part-time, you know, I was talking about price like $10 to help buy some food, you know, that would be like 10 employees. And I don't think we have 10 employees that work part-time full-time. We was trying to do the math. And I'm more than willing to forego because Hannaford's actually supplies me with one. So, you know, I already have mine. But I'm just saying that it's been a hard year for the employees. Discussion? All right.
Having a hard time with it. Usually I tend to be really generous, especially at the holiday season, but it's we do appreciate them. They're making really good money. benefits. I'm having some trouble coming around on this one. I just, I mean, if it's something that we're doing for everyone who works for the town. So, yeah, but it's,
Okay.
Hey, I guess I feel a little bit the same way. It's a nice token gesture. When I think of the road crew especially, I think that the appreciation comes from, you know, working with them and kind of letting them know on a daily, if not weekly basis that they're doing a good job.
they are. We got a good crew, wonderful crew, but this is an awkward one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It puts everybody in a
yeah.
So I would pass on this year.
I'll second the pass on that.
That's it, the majority.
You didn't even get the comment.
No, I can see it like in both ways. What kind of, I'd hate to have it be something then that people would expect every year.
Yeah, there's the rest of it.
I wouldn't mind doing a surprise, something at some point for the town employees when they least expected it, as a thank you. Okay, all I have is, I just have some updates. So I wanted to let the board know that the MOU with the seltzer has been signed by all three towns. It now sits at the Wolcott County Planning Commission. I guess they will begin advertising at some point. Since then, Greensboro has reached out wondering if they could be part of it. They've lost their Mr. Assessor after 8 years. That's something that the Wolcott County Planning Commission Board will have to discuss because out of county. But I do see more towns coming on.
That's what makes this thing really work, is you get more towns on.
I think it's a chronic situation. It's probably gonna get worse. And
We just need for Eden to jump on.
Eden's having a tough time right now because their clerk is. So they're kind of scrambling with a lot of stuff up there. So I think this is the least of it. Then I want to just tell you that the forest, Kurt might know this, the forest committee, Kate's been in touch with someone, let's see.
Gordon.
Well, the Audubon Vermont sent up an ecologist who did an assessment of the bird habitat up there, and also they finished up an ecological assessment of the Bourne's property. Some of the highlights that they found were 4 uncommon natural communities of vernal pools, riverside outcrops, silver maple ostrich fern, floodplain forest, and red spruce Heath Rocky Ridge. They found 17 rare and uncommon plant species, 4 of which are very rare and 9 of which are listed as species of greatest conservation need in Vermont's Wildlife Action Plan. And the frontage on the Lamoille River is particularly important. And so they found the overall good structural complexity in the forest. So they were quite excited about that report that went out. I also, we didn't really talk about the E911 portion of the district's budget, but I'm going to be asking you for a list of signs so that I can order them. If we order them in bulk, I believe he said he'd give me a 10% discount. And hopefully they can produce them this winter.
You want a list of existing signs or a list of numbers?
I want streets with all the numbers. Streets. I prefer to have them by street and all the numbers on that street. I don't know how we're going to deal with existing signs. You know, some people have put them on their mailbox. I've looked at them. They're all over the place. Our ordinance says on a post. I would try not to get people to buy any more of them. It's kind of silly. I suggested Nathan maybe in the spring could start putting them up.
Yeah, he's got some good practice. He's putting those up in the transfer station.
So I'd like to be ready for that. The other thing is the town hall. I did talk to that lady today from Hardwick because the ballet emailed me first thing this morning that they couldn't find their stuff. It was a mess. But who was in there on Sunday? Linda gave me the name of the person. I talked to her this morning. She said that she was surprised that she had to go in there for an hour and pick all the ballet stuff up and put it on the stage. And she was a little upset the stove didn't work. She thought the whole kitchen was available up there.
I was told only at the top.
Yeah. Anyway, she was a little upset. I told her that I was going to bring to the board that we would reduce her town hall rent from $60 to $30 for that. But it had to be a board decision, not mine.
I'll make the motion that we do that then.
So the other thing is, I'm going to set up some kind of better way to communicate with other people using the hall and the cleaner. Also, who's going to use it? I'm going to make up some kind of form or something because the ballet would have moved everything if they knew, but they did not.
But why don't they move anything?
It's too much stuff. They're not going to. They are not going to.
They should. No, they don't own the building.
You are not in charge. We are going to make a thing.
But when I rent it, it's very far to rent it out when I have to tell them they might have to move stuff.
They don't have to move things if you call the ballet and let them know someone was using it. And that's what we're going to do in the future.
But who am I supposed to call now? Because I used to call Sharon.
Me. And I've been the one that have been doing all the scheduling.
You've been sending me emails.
Yes. But we are going to make up a form so that there's communication. Either that or I'm going to take it back.
I think you should.
Okay, that's
good. Because I think it's too much to know what the ballet is going when and where because they change your schedule so much.
Okay, I'm in charge. So if anyone wants to use the town hall, they can get in touch with me. I hope they can drop the check off and get the key here.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. And Pam has a lot of questions sometimes about things, and so should I refer her to you?
Yeah. Yeah. And Nathan never get to be able to put those other filters in there? Or just remind them there's 2 filters for the water?
Oh, for the smooth with the solvents?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, okay, he bought more salt,
yeah.
but the filter's okay. Yeah, right on, yeah.
Anything else?
No,
Well, good Thanksgiving.
well, you too? Shall I make a motion to adjourn?
You should.
I will do.
Okay.
I will do so.
Second? All right.
Aye.
Aye. So,